Alright, you ball python fanatics, I have a special treat for you tonight. So I was actually going to go through all my hatchling racks and basically clean all the tubs, give them humidity, and give them fresh water. And this is basically what I have here, my whole setup right here. And I thought, why not do it on a video and kind of show you what I have. So I have all those, plus I have all these all the way down to here. And believe it or not, I have 75 hatchlings. And I actually have some more that are going to hatch. So the way I'm kind of thinking of doing this is, so my first show where I'm going to sell some snakes is the Colorado Exotic Pet Expo. And that is September 9th on a Sunday. And I thought I'd give you a kind of a glimpse of everything that's going to be at the show. I'll probably pick out some of my holdbacks and let you know which ones are holdbacks. And I'm kind of on the fence whether to bring some holdbacks or maybe I might just keep them all at home. I don't know. Because then, you know, if you guys offer me something, I might be tempted to sell them. And I really want to move some of these projects forward. So I'll basically show you what I have tonight, and you might see a couple there. I might surprise you. But if you're interested in anything, you know, I'm always all for supporting the local reptile shows. And if you see anything here, I won't sell it until that first show. So if you're the first person at the door waiting in line, and you want something that you see, just rush over to my table, and I can almost guarantee that I'll have it, because I'm not going to sell anything till that first show. So the first thing I have here, my first two actually, are straight out of the incubator, still in the box. And this was the het caramel albino I crossed with a scaleless head. So let's take a look at those first. Okay, we kind of had a sneak peek at these on the last video. There was just two eggs that we had cut that were in here. And I thought almost for sure, one was a scaleless head and one wasn't. But we'll take a closer look here. So, let me pull up a chair and we'll take a look. So, I believe this one looks like a normal. Nope, this one. I think this one has one little scale missing from the head. I think that's a scaleless head right there. And you can always tell by the last scale right before the vent is split on a scaleless head. Boy, that one's hard to tell. I can almost see it. I think it is split. Almost need a magnifying glass. But I'm pretty sure that's a scaleless head. And let's take a look at this other one here. This one I don't believe is a scaleless head. Oh, it is so hard to tell on some of these. This one almost looks like that scale is split in two. So if the scale, if it's a single scale right by the vent, then it's not a scaleless head. And this guy just decides to run. Go, go, go! Alright. Sometimes they start running and there's not much you can do with them. They just take off. This one is crazy. Usually they calm down after a little bit though. The first handling session for a brand new snake. So let's take a look here. Sometimes if you just coil them up in a ball, they do pretty good. Yeah, I don't think this one's a scaleless head. That scale sure looks split though. This one I think is a question mark, because it doesn't really look like it has any scales missing from the head. Very interesting on this one. But it looks like the last vent scale is split. Okay, so it looks like both of these are females, and I'm going to call them both scaleless heads. I might put a question mark on the one that's a really low expression. It almost doesn't look like it's missing any scales on the head, but it definitely has the split vent scale. So that one I'll have to come back to. See it, maybe when it matures a little bit we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so this is how I set up the hatchlings here. So basically that's my label. The one with the obvious scale missing from the head, that's going to be one of my holdbacks, probably one of my last holdbacks. And then I have a damp paper towel, and I use the sphagnum moss in a little netting and water, and that is it. Okay, so we set up the last two hatchlings. The next ones, they probably won't hatch for at least another month or so. So that's going to be it for a while for eggs hatching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start basically from the oldest up here. And some of these have already eaten 6 rodents. And you can see the number of clips is the number of rodents they've eaten. As you go down further, it's less and less. I had one on the bottom that hasn't really eaten anything yet. And then over here, there's fewer and fewer. And then all this stuff right here, this newer stuff, is the stuff that just hatched out recently. And some of that stuff may still be in shed. I kind of worked some rodents down through here, and a lot of them didn't eat because they haven't been out of the egg that long. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up on a tripod, and we'll just start pulling tubs. Okay, here is a nice pastel pinstripe. Getting pretty big already. And this is a female. Female. 50% het pied. From my very first clutch. So these guys are really doing great on the first clutch. Getting pretty big already. Nice looking snake. It's they call it a lemon blast, pastel pinstripe. And this actually came out of my I believe this came out of my coral glow for the 50% het pied. So the coral glow is the father. It's a nice looking snake. Okay, so this one is a male pastel, 50% het pied. Really bright yellow pastel. I really like this one. It's a good looking snake there. I really like the pattern on it. So this also came from my coral glow, and my coral glow has that unknown gene in it, which could have been transferred to some of these, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so this one is a male pastel, 50% het pied. Really nice looking snake here. Okay, here is another pastel. This is a female pastel, 50% het pied. These are all from clutch number 1, and the pairing was my coral glow crossed with a lemon blast, or a pastel pinstripe. And my coral glow is 50% het pied, so that's for, no, actually my coral glow is 100% het pied, so these will all be 50% het pied. So here's another female pastel, 50% het pied. And I'm thinking this one might have that other gene. So there's a new gene or an unknown gene kind of floating around. And I actually proved it out and got the gene by itself in kind of a normal looking snake. We'll kind of work up to that. But I think it might be in this one because it kind of breaks up some of the patterns in here. And I know in the coral glow it makes it really, really irregular. So this one might have that gene in it. Okay, so this one is just a female normal, 50% het pied from that same clutch. Still a really good looking snake. And then this one, oh yeah, this one actually, you can see the tracks down the belly. So on the normals, only on the normals, when you see the tracks, you can tell it's definitely 100% het pied. I would say this is 100% het pied. Based on the the markings down the belly, even though the statistics on the pairing says it's 50%, but if you're looking for a het pied female, there it is. Okay, and then on this one, this is a coral glow. I'm pretty sure it's a pastel. I kind of put a question mark on the pastel because I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure from the faded head that it has pastel in it. And if you kind of look at how the pattern's all broken up, especially right through here, I think it has that other gene that's kind of in the mix, that's kind of breaking up the pattern. He's a really neat looking snake. He's a little jumpy. And all my coral glow hatchlings are all males. I didn't get any female coral glows, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping for at least one to hold back. But he is a good looking snake. And I think on these the bellies are pretty clear. That's a neat looking snake. So here's another male coral glow, 50% het pied. Possible pastel. I'm pretty sure this is a pastel because you can tell the lighter head on it. So I don't know if you can see this better against the wood background. It looks like it's kind of getting faded out a little bit on the camera exposure. But it's a really good looking snake. Okay, this is still the first clutch, believe it or not. This is a male coral glow, 50% het pied, possible pastel. Okay, so this is one of my first holdbacks. This is a female scaleless head. And I bred her to my jungle woma. And my jungle woma kind of had some complications. It was a spider jungle woma. And she was egg bound and lost a bunch of eggs. And luckily I popped out this little gem. And I'm not quite sure if it's jungle woma or not. I'm not real familiar with the jungle woma. But the scaleless head's pretty obvious on this guy. You can definitely tell. It's a pretty cool snake. Okay, so this one came from that same clutch, but I'm not sure if this is a jungle woma. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal. And this one is a female. So just a female. I'm calling it a female normal. Okay, so this one is another holdback. This is from my third clutch. And she's a little hisser. A little snapper too. See if I don't get bit. So she's a really high expression lemon blast, scaleless head lemon blast. You can see she has a lot of scales missing. And that was kind of what was throwing me off on the last scaleless heads, where there was just one little scale. This is what I was looking for. A lot of scales missing. But she's really been eating really well. So she started off eating really well. She's really got some good size to her. Definitely a holdback. So this is basically exactly the same as the last snake. Another female scaleless head lemon blast. And this one it had a really, almost a higher expression scaleless head. So that's a really good looking snake too. Okay, here's another holdback. This is a female pastel scaleless head. I got some really good odds on these scaleless heads this year, and they almost all of them, I think all of them so far, pretty much are all females, which is kind of interesting. Which is really what I was hoping for. And she is a really, really bright pastel. I really love the patterns on her sides. She's really neat. I think she's just one of my neatest snakes. Okay, this one is a male lemon blast, which is a pastel pinstripe. I really like the lemon blast patterns and colors. Really neat. So here's another female lemon blast, and on this one she is really, really stuck in a deep shed. You can tell. She's really really dry. So in this one I put a little extra moss in there to kind of boost the humidity. That should do it. Okay, this one almost bit me off camera. This is a female pinstripe. And she is just coming into shed. You can tell she's not past to where she's stuck in a shed, but you can tell she's getting a little bit faded, getting ready to shed. Still in good shape. I really love the pinstripes. I think it's one of my favorite just straight gene mutations. It's kind of a golden color, and it mixes really well with a lot of different genes. Okay, this one is just a pastel male, and he shed out for the second time. A lot of these snakes are, they've eaten, 4, 5, 6 meals, and they're starting to shed for the second time. So, good looking snake. Okay, so this one is a pastel female. And when she first hatched out, I thought there was something else in there because she was lighter than a lot of my other pastels, and I thought maybe it was fire, some kind of a lightning gene. But you really can't tell now that she's any different. But when she first hatched, you could really tell. Okay, so this one, if I can get him out. Whew, a little crazy. This is just a straight male normal. Believe it or not, these are really useful for breeders. So you can actually cross them with females that you want to prove out. And if you don't want any other genes in the mix, male normal, cross with a female, and everything that you get basically comes from the female. So, really cool snake. So this one is a male coral glow, 50% het pied. And so this doesn't have any pastel guaranteed because of the pairing. And you can kind of tell that the head's a little bit darker than some of the others that I thought were pastel. So I'm pretty sure if you compare them side by side, the other ones were definitely pastel and this one wasn't. And you can tell it's a little bit smaller of a snake. The further we go, the younger the snakes are getting, so they'll get smaller and smaller as we go. Okay, here's another male coral glow, 50% het pied. Really good looking snake. They have some interesting bellies on these coral glows. Really nice looking. Okay, so this is another male coral glow, 50% het pied. I got pretty lucky on the odds on this clutch. I think I bred it with a normal, and I think all but one came out as coral glows. And all of them were males, no females. Alright, here's another male coral glow, 50% het pied. This one has some really neat patterns on it. That one's really neat. Okay, one more male coral glow, 50% het pied. This one kind of has an interesting stripe down the top. It's really neat. So this is one of my more interesting snakes. So I crossed my coral glow with a normal, and I popped this out, and I think this is some kind of a new gene or a gene that I'm not familiar with, but it looks really pretty incredible. And since it's pretty much mostly normal, you can tell by the tracks on the belly that it's het pied. It's like every time I pick this snake up, it coils into this ball that you can't even unravel. It's pretty incredible. But come on out, come on out. I'm not gonna hurt you. But if you could take a look at the belly, if we could get them uncoiled. And I think this, whatever gene this is, it's affecting my adult coral glow, and it's breaking up the pattern. It's definitely not a normal. It's something, just a slight subtlety in there. That's a pretty cool snake, though. Okay, so this is my second male normal. Even the normals are pretty cool snakes. And I always find the normals usually eat better than most of the morphs for some reason. And it seems like they grow faster. Normals and pastels seem to be some of the most aggressive eaters and fastest growers. So now we're starting to get into some of my bamboo stuff. I have a ton of bamboos. And this is a really nice looking female. These guys are doing fantastic. I really love the bamboo stuff. And I don't think I've really seen a lot of bamboo stuff at the local shows, so I think it's going to be really popular. These are great looking snakes. This is actually one of my holdbacks here. This is a pastel calico bamboo. Really beautiful snake. And the calico just kind of reduces the sides, and then the pastel kind of, ouch! Ooh, ho, ho, ho! Whew! I got bit on that one. Whew! Alright. Regroup. Ouch! This is a little snapper. Beautiful and bitey. Whew. Yeah, that's a good looking snake. Yeah, it doesn't hurt that much. It feels like a little pinprick maybe when they bite you. This small. So, ouch. That's definitely a holdback. So this is a neat snake. This is a calico bamboo male. And I'll definitely be selling this guy at the show. He's really neat. Really stunning. So this one is a bamboo calico female, and I've decided to hold this one back just because It's pretty unique. It has a really reduced pattern. I like the sides on it. And there's a lot of males that I'm kind of looking forward to mixing with the bamboo gene. There's a couple of them. Some people ask me what my plans are with bamboo. I'd like to go with maybe go for the desert ghost bamboo, or maybe a scaleless bamboo. That'd be kind of neat. And I think another one, I've seen the ultramel bamboo is really cool, but I don't think I've ever seen a caramel albino bamboo or a caramel albino scaleless bamboo. That'd be just outrageous, I think. So there's a lot of things I can go after with the bamboo still. Okay, so this one is a big old female normal. And you can see how big and plump the normals are compared to a lot of the other ones. I don't know, I just think they thrive better than normals. But, I guess that's just been my experience from what I've seen. And the normals have some really cool bellies usually. Of course it's going to coil up now. But this is just a straight normal with a normal kind of belly on it. But still some really cool snakes. So if you've been following my videos, you'll remember this snake. So this is actually the female bamboo that had the swollen belly, and we thought for sure it was hard belly, and I worked on her for a long time trying to get it out, and I never did. And believe it or not, she actually ate 3 times already. So I think she's out of the woods and she's doing great. Just a straight bamboo female. Okay, so this is a male pastel bamboo. Really good looking snake. And you can really tell by the head that it's pastel. This one's kind of hard just by looking at the sides. But you can definitely tell by the head it's a little bit faded that it has the pastel in there. So this is a bamboo female. She's pretty fired up. See if I don't get bit again. But she is really stunning. I don't know what's going on with her, but it almost looks like she has something else in there that's really lightening the pattern all around this. Her dark pattern. Even has highlights up in here. So, and the pairing on this was just a pastel and a bamboo. So I really don't know what else could be in there. But unless it's just a really prime example of the bamboo morph. It's really stunning. So this one is another female bamboo. These guys are doing really great. They've eaten several meals and shed a couple times. I think they're just getting more intense as they get bigger. Seems like they weren't that intense when they were smaller, but boy, that's a really neat looking snake. I really love the kind of it almost looks like a broken up pattern along the sides. It's kind of interesting on this one. So this is my bamboo lesser female. And the interesting thing about this is I always thought bamboo lessers were pure white, but this has quite a bit of yellow in it. And kind of like a dirty line going right down the center of the snake. I don't know if she'll grow out of that and be completely white at some point. But the other interesting thing about this is you can breed this to anything and you'll never get a bamboo lesser. So it's allelic and you'll get either bamboos or lessers, but you won't get both. And you won't get a snake without the bamboo and the lesser. It's kind of an interesting combination. So this one is a lesser female, and I really love the lessers. They are just they are one of the most beautiful snakes, just a standalone morph. I actually have two female lessers, and that's how I got this. Um, and these are really neat snakes, and they're pretty reasonable if you're looking for, you know, something as a pet and a breeder. Lesser's kind of the way to go. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with lesser. Okay, so that last one was a female lesser, and this is a male lesser. He's a neat snake too. Okay, so that was actually 39, this whole rack here, and 2 in the egg box, so that's 41. And now I'm going to move over to this ARS 1065 rack. Okay, this one is a female normal, and she is fired up. She's got some good weight to her. And she started eating right away. Sometimes they don't eat right away, and they kind of thin out before they start gaining weight. But this girl, she just started eating right away. So she's got some nice weight to her. She's only eaten twice, I think, yeah. Here's another female normal, and I pretty much found, you know, I started trying to feed these guys live rat crawlers and maybe some euthanized rat crawlers at first. And it seems like when they're just baby hatchlings eaten for the first time, the best meal is a live mouse crawler. And if they get too big, if they get to like hopper size, a lot of times they won't eat them. So you have to really get them to where their eyes are almost ready to open or just barely opened. But once they get big enough to start hopping around, it's usually too big for a new hatchling. So here's a really stunning male bamboo. And I was pretty fortunate on these guys. I had a bunch of mice that all had babies basically at the same time, the perfect time that these guys were ready to eat, and they're still cranking out a lot of baby mice. And I've been going through these and just feeding a lot of those little baby mouse crawlers, and they're really these guys are just taking off faster than all my other snakes. So these guys are doing really good. This is a really good looking male bamboo. So here's another male bamboo. He's doing really great. Really stunning, high contrast. So this one is a female normal. And female normals are a really cheap way to expand your breeding operation. I think I have 4 female normal breeders. It's good if you're just starting out, like kind of like I am. So yeah. And on the normals, you get these, people call them alien heads. You can see right here. It's like little alien heads. That's basically tells you it's a normal right there. So now we're getting into some of the really younger snakes that haven't been out of the egg that long. So this is a male normal. And I offered them a couple meals of mouse hoppers, but I think they were a little bit too big for them. I know they like I'm starting to learn that they like the mouse crawlers kind of at this age. So this guy hasn't eaten one meal yet. He shed out, but he hasn't eaten yet. So this is basically what they look like right out of the egg before their first meal. You know, this guy's thinning out a little bit. Sometimes they're a little bit thicker, and then they kind of get thinner as they don't eat. And then once they start eating, like after like 3 or 4 meals, then they just start pounding them, and they gain weight really fast. So I really don't worry about them not eating. It's pretty much normal. So this is a lesser female. Ate a couple meals already. This is actually a couple clutches after that one, so you can see after they get a couple meals in them how plump they start looking again. So this one is really, really amazing. This is, I just can't believe how bright it is. I mean, even on camera it looks like it's glowing. So, and I have one lesser that's, we think it's head ghost, and I thought maybe there was the head ghost coming through on this, but this is actually a different snake. And the mom is pretty dull, actually. It doesn't look as bright as this. So this is, I don't know what's going on with this girl, but she is really, really a good example of a lesser. It's just really stunning. Okay, this is a female bamboo, and she has not eaten yet, and hasn't been out of the egg that long, and I don't even think she's shed yet. So she looked like, from her eyes, she was kind of still in a shed. She's really small, huh? Still a really good looking snake though. Okay, so here is another bamboo lesser female, and I decided to keep one. I think I'm going to sell one at the show. So basically it's the same as the other one, all white snake, a little bit of yellow right down the center. It almost, to me, it almost looks like a super fire, kind of with a little bit of yellow in it. But it'll be a pretty powerful breeder, that's for sure. Alright, this is a male bamboo, and he is fired up. He's a little snapper. Woo! Woo! Alright, see if we can get him up. Whoa, without getting bit. So, there you go. There you have it. He's had a couple meals, that's why he's pretty snappy. He's looking good, too. He has some really good body condition, too. So now we're getting into some really young snakes. This is a female lemon blast that hasn't eaten yet. Although she looks like she wants to eat my thumb. She's a really bright one for being just a lemon blast. She's really good looking. Here's another lemon blast female that just shed out. She hasn't eaten anything yet, and she's got some pretty good body weight for being a new hatchling. Sometimes the eggs are a little bit bigger, and she's pretty chunky for a new hatchling. Here's another lemon blast female. Pretty much hit a bunch of lemon blasts all in the same clutch. And they're all really bright in this clutch. Really good looking snakes. Here's a female bamboo right out of the egg. Hasn't eaten yet. She's a really good looking snake. Really reduced for being just a straight bamboo. So this one is a pastel bamboo male. He's neat. I love his tail. I love the pattern around his head and his neck too. Okay, this is a pinstripe bamboo male. These pinstripe bamboos are really stunning. I really like them. Really comes out with a kind of a wild pattern. So this is a holdback for me. I want to use them as a future breeder. This is a pastel pinstripe bamboo male. And I was mentioning it had kind of hieroglyphics on here. And one of my viewers said, hey, yeah, that should be the King Tut snake. I thought that was a great idea. So maybe we'll name this morph King Tut, the pastel pinstripe bamboo. Just because it has the little hieroglyphics on there. Alright, this is, whoo, he's really hissing. Yeah, he's not used to people yet. This is a male pinstripe. I love the pinstripes. And he just ate one meal. So he's doing great. So this one is a bamboo pinstripe female, and she is looking really good. Take a look at that. That's just amazing. So I decided to hold her back. I might use her for some of my other projects where I want to breed some other stuff into her. But she is really good looking. So this is a young female bamboo. Still hasn't eaten yet. And she's pretty reduced for being just a straight bamboo. Not a whole lot going on the sides. Here's another female bamboo. Just shed, hasn't eaten yet. That one's got a wild pattern. Almost looks like it's spider or something. Here's a male pastel bamboo that just shed out, hasn't eaten yet. And he's taken off. He's a good looking snake. So here's another pastel bamboo male. Hasn't eaten yet, just hatched out, just shed. So this one's a female, 50% het caramel albino. And this one is a male, 50% het caramel albino, just a normal male. This one is a pastel female, really bright pastel. That's a good looking snake. Now I'm getting into the really recent stuff. This is a female bamboo that I don't think she's even shed for the first time. So this one is a pastel bamboo female, and she just shed for the first time. She's looking really good. This one is a female, 50% het caramel albino. So this is one of my holdbacks. This is a scaleless head male. You can see it's got a little scale missing from the head there. 50% het caramel albino. So here's another holdback. This is a female scaleless head, 50% het caramel albino. So this one is a female, 50% het caramel albino. And these snakes, I think they've only been out of the egg just like a few days. So these are pretty fresh. So here is another female, 50% het caramel albino. So last but not least, for my 75th snake that I'm showing you, this is a female, scaleless head, 50% het caramel albino. Alright guys, so that was everything I've hatched so far. The whole 2018 breeding season, and I still have a few more to go, so I have 20 more eggs in the incubator. I should get some albinos, albino het pieds, some albino pieds hopefully, And I think I have some more bamboo stuff in there. There's just about 20 eggs, so it won't be a whole lot of stuff. And then I have a couple other that, 2 more snakes that may or may not lay, but that's pretty much it for the season. We're kind of winding down here as far as what we can expect and what's coming up. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.